All right. Good morning, everyone. Thursday the 17th in the trading room for Tradingology members. Welcome. Looks like a few of us are just rolling in. We had a little overnight activity with some reports of a potential Brexit deal. So a little unnatural movement up that we saw. So we're just watching how the markets are opening here, doing some assessments. I believe Dave will be joining us, and I got my new setup, so I figured I'd let you guys see my face for once. Finally had a new camera installed, so good morning to you. And there comes Dave now. So yeah, we're just looking at market internals, watching them currently. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Adjust my volume so I can hear you a little bit better there. There we go. So do you see me coming across, or do you just see the shared screen?
I do see you up there. You're pointing at me.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Oh, nice background. That is beautiful.
Yeah, that's coming to you right from the border of Canada, looking down into the United States in Waterton Lakes National Park, if everyone's never seen that.
Wow.
That's what the view is behind me.
Boy, it looks so realistic. You could take out your fishing pole and just throw it right.
Do a little casting.
Oh, man. Interesting day. I don't believe this move. I think we're probably going to go lower here later in the day, but the market internals are pretty strong.
I've seen they peaked up there and bounced off that 0.80 line, and now we're starting to turn down. We'll see if it continues or not.
It's pretty rare, though, for the market to reverse when it hits those levels. It's very rare. That only happens in bear markets.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I called out. I think it was last year that I asked you. I'm like, Dave, what's up with this? We opened up above the line, and it just completely tanked. And I think you said that's only happened twice in like 2008.
Yeah, it's very, very rare. But I just don't trust I don't trust this move because it's all based on the UK EU deal.
Yeah, the Brexit news overnight.
We were down 50 points on the MYM at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and then if you look at that time period right in there, man, it just shot right up.
Right.
So yeah, I just don't trust this move, but who knows?
Yeah, I got a feeling there's a nice little quick opportunity in the morning. It jumped up to 27 and came back down 50 points. So there's definitely scalping opportunities in there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. We've got the SR1, SR2 on the Dow cash index right around 2750. I think we'll probably come back down to that level and see what happens during the day. The MT volatility is still high. It's over 100% on all the indexes. So I'll probably end up just doing I'll probably just do some scalping in and out a little bit today, but no big positions until the end of the day. But you look at the swing synth. I mean, it's not really strong here. It's weak.
And I did see when this first opened up, I was watching this bar. It opened up pretty high around an 8th, and it went way down to negative. It's like, yeah, that was part of that drop in the first 15 minutes there, but we know the Dow rotates open.
Yep. So it's not well formed. It's very spotty there.
Mm-hmm. And it was all lining up too for the spread as well. It just didn't have the greatest starting point. So we were 60-40 to the upside, and it is moving up still, which is prime for the markets going down with that inverse correlation. So
yeah, yesterday if you have the spreadsheet, we could actually bring that up because I put in the notes in the TSA that we're hitting 3.4.
Yep.
Yep. And I don't know if you have the trend.
I got a better look on this one.
That chart.
I'll bring over the first version that's got a better trend graph. Boom.
Yeah, we hit that. It's just like right at that bottom. And every time it's hit that bottom, it's bounced off. So in the notes yesterday in the TSA, I put down that was typically a support area. We did bounce up higher yesterday, and we're getting that again today.
That famous 3.4.
Yeah.
Interesting we are on definitely extended. We've been trailing down on the bell curve.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've seen this before where we're still negative. Typically,
With a
that's
very
positive.
long negative trend.
Yeah, and it just finally first time we had. I think this is the longest stretch as well of just full zeros.
Yeah. How many days is that?
That's 5 in a row.
All the way across. Yeah.
Yeah. But overbought, oversold still coming up, and these are still moving up. So it's interesting how the cross column tends to trend slower. I did notice I was seeing we plateaued here at the 8, which was the last time we peaked to the upside. Ever since then, it's been in the long downhill, except for 2 days in the middle there where it was a failed positive. When we look at that's almost a 2.5% run
Right.
that we're on here, and we're still building up on the cross column. So a little bit of conflict there. Obviously, that's why we're 60-40 on the TSA.
And that cross column bell curve could end up being a peak right there at 10 too.
Right. Yeah, we'll see where we finish today.
Yeah, it's gone higher than that, but it could be a peak.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since it's been higher. Way back on 726.
Then we hit a pretty good positive run after that.
And that was actually the last time it hit a negative 20, and we had a swing signal trigger.
Yep.
We haven't had anything in the 20s since then. All right.
Very interesting news coming out this week, though. I mean, we had, I don't know if you noticed, I guess we'll get into the economy just a little bit here because we've had, I mean, I did a couple of posts on Twitter about announcements, especially when it came to like corporate debt. They're calling it there's a historic levels of corporate debt right now. And a lot of it is covenant light, and covenant light debt means that they didn't include a lot of the callback provisions or the requirements for collateral that they typically do in corporate debt. And so that is, that's potentially bad, but I don't know if you heard the news about Cornfield in Canada, the Canadian crypto exchange.
I did. I saw that interview.
That's crazy. I mean, that is insane. They're tokenizing stocks from 25 exchanges around the world.
50,000 of them. I'm like, holy cow, we got a lot of developers.
That's insane. Now, I mean, the big risk to the economy that we've been talking about is this liquidity gap. And, if they can solve that liquidity gap, and this is part of that plan, is to tokenize all of these assets, the stocks, commodities, gold, silver. I mean, just about every kind of asset across the world.
Mm-hmm.
Just, imagine being able to buy just fractions of shares of stocks in Japan. Or anywhere else in the world that participates in this program. That opens up liquidity like crazy. And I think it could end up saving the market. I could see the U.S. if the U.S. is not participating in this yet.
Right.
They got 150 countries except for the U.S., of course.
Or Canada. That's the part that blows me away. They can't get their own country.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, that's right. They can't even do their own country. They can't do Canada, which is hilarious. They're working on it, though. They said next year.
It'll come. It's just a matter of it's the more regulations for the big countries.
Yeah, next year, they said. So, but what's going on here, in case you guys didn't hear about it, is the fact that Coinfield is using the XRP ledger to issue stock. Well, it says right there, issue stock in fiat-backed stable coins called Solo. And what you can do is you can now tokenize shares of stock. So, for example, if you couldn't afford Amazon stock at $1,700 a share or whatever it is right now, you could buy like 0.1% of Amazon stock for like $17 or something. And just imagine that kind of opportunity that opens up, and it's going to be across 25 different exchanges. Now, they didn't reveal who the exchanges are, but they're all going to be, they're all stock exchanges. So you're talking about probably the Tokyo Exchange, Singapore Exchange, London. You know, are there really that many major exchanges trading stocks and ETFs around the world? I guess there are. Brad Kimes had the CEO and some of the developers on his show the other night. Did you catch that?
I did. I thought it was interesting the red couch they were sitting on. I had to kind of laugh at that.
About which one?
Just the couch they were sitting on. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it was these two, the CTO and the CEO, were in the interview. Reason.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. But they did mention the fact that, you know, you trade into the Solo coin, you can then use that to buy fractional shares of all of these different stocks. And when you do that, geez, you can buy, you know, think about the opportunities for people who are in less developed countries. Now it gives them an opportunity to participate in the capital markets on a long-term basis. And it's also an inflow of capital, just amazing, in liquidity. I mean, if they have plans on rolling this out over the next year. So Q3 2020 is when they're going to go public with live trading. So they've got time to ramp this up, but it's just amazing. I mean, it really is. And the implications are that, you know, there's more capital flowing into the market. There's more liquidity. Liquidity is going to be at the press of a button, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What's your take on this? What do you think?
I just think it's really interesting, especially when we start to think about, I think the contracts went to the ETH one and some of the secure contracts, but there's still a lot of opportunity with, you know, people are so used to how rarely you actually use cash. And it doesn't have to be a crypto, which is, you know, just that it's digitized. And the most people, you know, whether it's a credit card, whether it's Apple Pay, whether it's Samsung Pay, whether it's whatever thing, you know, you can flash your phone somewhere and pay. Just using the crypto under the covers to make things easily transferred and quicker and faster isn't really going to change people, because if it's still just a digitized thing. But then moving out to other things that we've seen talk about with, like, you know, maybe car titles, when you buy and sell cars, to your house, to, you know, digitizing anything. It doesn't have to be directly tied to a crypto, but just the fact that it's digitized, I think, is going to be a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Imagine being able to, let's say you have tokenized shares of a company in Japan, and you want to trade out of that into gold or something. Traditionally, you'd have to share your shares in the stock, wait 3 to 5 days to get the money back into your bank account, then transfer it to whatever gold exchange you want to buy your gold from, which is another 3 to 5 days. Wait for that transaction to complete. You know, the whole process could take a couple of weeks.
It takes forever, yeah.
Yep. And now on the XRP ledger, you could instantly go from the shares in stock in Japan to gold in a few seconds.
And, you know, what's the price of gold going to do over a week? It might move and you miss out on a decent opportunity.
That's right. That's right. So you're going to be able, and then what happens is, so you can use a Solo coin to kind of trade in between these tokenized assets. But when you want to cash out and go to fiat, you go from Solo to XRP to the fiat currency of your choice.
Whatever your country currency is, yep.
Yep. So they're going to be using XRP in that conversion flow, which is pretty freaking amazing, in my opinion. And we got XRP up 4.5%, one of the leaders in the market today.
Yep, it touched 30 overnight. I saw it actually hit 3.0 on the nose. And
did it?
Yep.
It's holding up though. It's holding up. I mean, it's been moving. I traded out all my Bitcoin on September 10th and got converted it all to XRP, and it's been working out really well for me. So
You talked your wife out of buying more?
she wanted to buy some last night when it hit 79.50 or something like that, and I
Yeah, I
said,
saw it drop below 8 again.
I think I'd rather stick with the XRP, and so I convinced her to stay the course.
916. Just watching a little bit at all the same time. Yeah, there was a little fake out going south. So if anybody's scalping, just be in and out quick.
Voltaire says, "Hi Dave, do you use the same market internals as Dan laid on his screen? I know you also use MT internals and X factor scripts. Just wondering if there's anything else." I'm using now the one he's got there for the Dow cash index. I have the one to the right of that. Yeah, so I've got the one to the right. Yep, I've got that one and the new X factor. That's primarily what I have, but I use the one on the right there. Yeah, those are pretty firm. When those open up like over 60, they don't typically pull back during the day.
And this is just the original one that I look at. It's similar data, but it just gives me a different view, so I know. Yeah, is the volume matching the issues that we're seeing here?
Right.
So it's just a different way of charting it out. That the original script is what this one is.
Yeah, we'll call that the vintage script.
Classic. Yeah.
Classic or something.
And I don't think X Factor is available on this download yet, is it?
No, still testing it out. I think it should be available pretty much. It's pretty close to being ready.
I didn't think I was that one yet. So okay, perfect.
It's pretty interesting. I can use it. You can use it on any time frame, and anything over 5 is typically over bought, and under -5 is oversold. And it worked out very, very well today. It never actually went negative yesterday, so I guess it kind of helped predict a little bit of the up move today. But with MT volatility at 100%, though, you gotta, boy, surprises, if any, are going to be to the downside.
So Voltaire's asking about how the one on the right is used here. Let me make this one bigger so we can see it actually. Zoom this guy over. Come here. Or I'll just do this. Oh, not that one, the other one. So that was the close. This is the open, basically. So the yellow line is the current one, and these are trailing moving averages. So 80 and 20 is obviously, if it's over 80%, that's everybody's buying them. If it's under 20, everything's being sold. So we watch this one, this number, that's gold. So you see where it opened up very strong. That's the market internals showing strength in the market. If it starts dripping and dropping, which is rare, that Dave was saying, if we open up this high, it's rare for it to revert, except for major bear markets where it'll change. But yeah, so this is the one that he's watching, is this yellow line here, and what that number is. So if you see it starting to drop or going up, if it hits above 80, that's even more of a bull market for that day.
Yeah, anything over 60 is pretty bullish. I've seen it like we mentioned earlier, hit that 70, 80 level and then completely fall apart. But it usually does it within the first 30 minutes.
So if we look at yesterday, and just for a comparison, we opened up not as high, but it did trend higher, and then it held, and then it dropped off in the afternoon. Or actually, that's Wednesday. Sorry.
Yes,
that's Tuesday. This is Wednesday. So yesterday was pretty much in the middle all day. There was no super strong to either side. So if we look at what the market did on a 10-minute chart, if I can squeeze it in, we can see there was no, it was, it went up and it came back down. From where it opened to where it closed is pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, we were in the middle all day. So today we're opening up much higher.
Yeah.
That's what caused us to close our other positions.
Yeah. If you don't look at anything else, just look at the yellow line. That typically tells you that's the average of the internals. So you can kind of follow that. And then the moving averages will catch up to it. And then the dots represent the volume and the issues. And so you can tell if there's good volume, the gray is representing the volume. It's going to be high. That means a lot of people are in there buying. And the issues average is the green dots, and then the average of both is the yellow line. Sometimes you can kind of tell if it's going to last or not by the separation. Like if you go back to Tuesday towards the close there, you can see those dots were really far apart for most of the day, which gives you a good indication that that's not going to last.
So it's when they're really below the gray separation he's showing there.
Yeah, just a big separation there. And then when they get really close together, that's typically a good indication if it's trending higher, like it was on Monday. Yep, Monday. They started coming together pretty good.
Yeah, Monday was a big down day there.
Yeah, but they came together pretty good.
But then Friday, so here's like almost a true trend day for Friday.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, look at that.
It opens up and it stays there. So it doesn't always open, the last thing he said there. So wherever it ends at the first 15 minutes, it usually stays there for the rest of the day? Not exactly. If it does, that's a true trend potential day, depending on what the other chart was doing. I can look. Yeah, you can see so the first 50 minutes it opened here, but it trailed up all day. So it's not that it's where it opens, it's going to stay. But that's just where we are at that point in time. Like today we opened up. It doesn't necessarily it's going to stay at 70 all day, but it's a pretty decent chance, but it could vary. Once you start to get in the middle, between below 70 and above 40 or 1640, that's kind of the chop. I don't know if there's a better way of explaining that.
No, that's pretty accurate. Between 40 and 60, it's going to be a choppy day. There's no real trend there. That's the best way to describe it. And a lot of times you see it, kind of flip either way. But the way I look at it is when the open comes and I see the internals particularly strong or weak, that generally will set the tone for the rest of the day. We have had a number of days, though, for the past 5 or 6 years in which we've opened up negative and we've reversed almost immediately. We've had a lot of those days. We have had many, many fewer days in which we've opened up very strong and then reversed and gone lower. And like I said, the only time it does that is when when we're in a bear market. So obviously at this point, I don't think we're in a bear market yet. And we may not have one. I mean, if liquidity is going to be, if we're going to get a lot more liquidity in the market, and the Federal Reserve now is putting about $60 billion a month into the market until like Q2 of next year. That's another thing too. They just announced that they're going to continue to provide liquidity, basically reversing all of the tightening they've done since the beginning of this year and adding to their balance sheet again until Q2 of next year.
Calendar Q2?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. So they've already added another quarter on.
Yeah. So they remember they went in September when they started, they said that October 10th is going to be the end. Then they stretched it out to November.
Yep.
And now they came out, they had an unscheduled meeting on October 4th, FOMC meeting. Anytime they do an unscheduled meeting, that means something's coming. Now, and actually that October 4th meeting was the first one since 2008.
Imagine that.
Yep. And then, so when they came out on October 11th, last Friday, with the announcement, they said that they were going to continue to do $60 billion a month and provide liquidity to keep the Fed funds rate at 1.75% until Q2 in 2020.
Crazy.
I know it. So you got to think, I mean, if they haven't had they haven't had an emergency meeting since 2008. Something else is going on there. I'm a lot more hopeful that we're not going to go into a very, very deep recession, though, if I think CoinField is probably the first cryptocurrency exchange that's going to do this. I wouldn't be surprised because we have Coinbase in the United States. I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on something very similar.
They have to be, right? Yeah, exactly.
After CoinField has gotten into this space and they start tokenizing stocks from exchanges all over the world, I can't imagine all the other exchanges, Binance, Coinbase, the larger ones, BitTrue, these guys have to be thinking, man, we got to do this. And so if they don't, they're going to be left behind.
Someone else is going to, right?
Yeah. I mean, geez. They're going to be left behind, that's for sure. I think Coinbase is going to be in the U.S. next year. And it's just going to be, it's going to be a feeding frenzy. I think everybody jumping on board.
Yeah. Turning out nicely. Anyone that's got that long VA trade, probably grabbing profits. She's looking nice there. So that's one time. I'll mention this too. We had Lieutenant Eric help us out with his lines. It doesn't always have to be that. When it does line up, it's additional confidence. But here's a nice move where we had the higher probability was to the up for the VA trade, and she's going right through the lines, and they're going to reline up. So that's a nice up move on the spread there.
What's the percentage move so far?
Oh, what are we at? You look at my other. I can see it easier on this chart. If I pull over the 4 hour.
Looks like a 0.2 or 0.1. 0.2 maybe.
33 on the 4 hour since the top of the hour.
Wow, nice.
Yeah,
that's about where we would get out.
Yep, absolutely. So if anyone's in there, yeah. Didn't hit the fifth column, it might go farther, but that's a good profit target for anyone that may have taken that. That's the TSA alert that we still do. And that's the nice relaxing one. You don't have to worry about the major fluctuations.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right. As always, guys, if you got any questions, fire them out. A little bit quieter crew here. Voltaire is running the gamut on his questions. So, excuse me. If anybody got anything else, let us know.
Say cold weather.
Yeah,
we got cold and rainy today.
Yeah, sorry I goofed you up with that. My forecast from last week.
Yeah.
We're pushing 60 today, so maybe you'll have a better weekend.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
Well, there it goes. Look at the cues, just by him.
Always happy to get the weather report from Minnesota.
Look at that spread with the cues dropping.
There it goes. Oh, see, now the cues
just dropped and everybody else didn't. That's just maximizing that spread.
Oh, yeah, that spread's it's got to be almost 40 now. Yeah, there go the cues.
Yeah, it's past 40.
Everything else is kind of holding up, but yeah, the cues are getting hit.
Yeah, you look at it, there's definitely negative, and we're all positive volume over here. That's why everybody else isn't dropping. Although it's pretty weak. I don't trust that either.
And it's just getting started, but it's interesting that it was red and negative the entire morning.
Right.
And it looks like all the other ones the price signals are starting to come down a little bit here. And do I trust this move? That's the question.
Where are we at? Just painted a new one. That's 9:30 at the bottom of the hour.
See, the setup yesterday was actually pretty perfect for a short position on all the different indexes. But when we had that strong open this morning, I said, But with MT volatility over 100%, all the surprises should be to the downside.
pull up our tick chart, see what we're doing there.
Let me take a quick look at these charts here. Where are we on the 4 hour?
See, now we go quiet because we're both looking for opportunities.
Hmm. Yeah, because I it just seems like this. Any other shocks to the system, especially when it comes to the trade stuff? I mean, they made this UK EU deal, and that's why it went up. Yeah, I don't trust those news announcements. The S&P 500 is getting close to its high back in September. The high back in September was 3,022, and we're at 3,004 on the cash index right now. The oscillator, market timer oscillator, is right up at 10 on the 4 hour, bumping up against that ceiling. But the synthetic is negative. Interesting. What the heck? You know what? I should get back into this market. I just don't trust this thing. I don't know. Maybe it's instinctual. I'm going short on MYM, MNQ, MES, ME, M2K again. I'm just going to take those positions. If I lose another $20,
Order filled.
be sorry.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
And this time it's going to be, let's see, I got 27.45. I'm getting back in. 79.61. 3003 on the MES. Oops. And 1539. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know, maybe it's just my spidey sense. Maybe it's my spidey sense.
No, it's years of watching it. If you have internals, you need to. They're very similar. It just depends on how you want to look at it, Voltaire. So internals and the original, the classic script, that kind of gives you a view into both.
I mean, if we hang around, especially on the market internals, if we hang around these levels for the rest of the day, we probably will not see much to the upside. But like I said, I mean, I think we did this last week too, is that there was some news event where the market went up or something, and I said I didn't trust it.
Yeah, exactly. I think the overriding market, it's gonna run out of steam now, and we're gonna go back to reality in a minute.
Yeah. Retail investors come in, they push up the market a little bit, then the institutions come in and say, nope, ain't gonna happen.
Specialists are just selling their stuff to buy it back later.
Yeah. But with the market internals already up that much, and we've already hit like 118 on the MYM, up 118. Typically what will happen is if you have a very strong up move like that in the market internals, whatever price you hit like at the maximum level is pretty much the cap for the day. I have seen it kind of drift a little bit higher as we've gone throughout the day, but typically not a lot. Like last week, I think last Friday, it was up 200 and went up to 300 and then close to 400 with market internals that were very, very strong. I think that was last Friday. But now you're getting to the point where it's like, okay, you're up 118 points. Market internals look good, but not perfect, not really, really strong. So for example, the advanced decline line now, You know, as high as 1623 on the positive. Now it's 1308.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
what I
it's
was
just
looking
it's
at.
bouncing around. Yeah, it's not trending higher. It's actually trending slightly sideways. So
Yeah, it just went below that little dip.
yeah.
It'll probably, what we'd like to see it is trending down all day.
Yep. So I'm already up. Oh, I'm already up about $40 on all my
Yep.
positions.
I was just looking at that as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're all starting to turn down.
Voltaire asks if you have the MT internals, do you still need the original MT Excel script? It depends on what you like to look at. Sometimes I like to look at both, like Dan here. I like to see the separation, but I'm kind of getting used to the new one.
That's why I keep them side by side. It just gets me, a view of both of them.
Yeah, but if you got the real estate, put them up.
Yep.
Both of them up.
I'm spoiled with monitors, so. There we go. All right. Getting in trouble. My coffee's getting low.
Uh-oh. Yeah. I remember to get my coffee before the stream. So.
Turn into iced coffee. Days like this, too, I like to scalp on the full contract to add on to the micros. Double dip.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we hit the bottom of the Renko cloud there on the ES.
That's nice.
NASDAQ still looks pretty weak, though. Wow.
Yeah, you don't want to never chase them. That's why I always look for the opportunities on the tick.
Yep.
To scalp.
Yep. You want to be above the cloud. You don't want to chase. Definitely not.
Yeah, we see this is flipping from over to red. So your opportunities are up here. That's a little close for me. If I could have hit that, I might have taken that. Then see this continue is what we want. So that's a pretty close opportunity right there, actually.
It would be unusual for this to completely turn around. Just FYI for the day. It would be very unusual, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Any questions, guys? How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Anybody take the VA trade this morning? We must be up pretty good on the VA trade.
Yeah,
like
definitely. There's the 5 minute. We're up to a 42 on the 4 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a little swing long yesterday on that when I saw the 3.4 on the price ratio.
Yep, for sure.
It's kind of a very low risk entry. And if it does dip below that, then I know that support is broken, but it hasn't broken it yet.
Yeah, we're waiting for the day it does that. Like you say, it hasn't yet. There's another little potential.
So you're on a tick chart on that one.
Yep.
On those two up there, okay.
Yeah, tops are tick charts, bottom's 10 minute.
With the price signals, nice. Yeah, I like that setup when I'm doing very, very short-term trading.
So I want to see this number stay negative and get bigger, and I want this to go back negative too. Then we'll run back down because we're above the cloud.
Right. You're gonna love the new XL, the new X Factor rather.
Send it my way, man.
Yeah, actually, I'll do that right now. Because I've tested it out for a few days. I just want to go over the code again, and then I'll send it to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's pretty clean, though.
Can you provide a preview on how to use it? Very possibly, Voltaire. Once I get my hands on it. All right, let's go. Here we go. Now she's moving down. Build that negative out. There we go. Get this bigger. Yep. That's liking it. Let's go. All right. Yeah, you can't say I never day traded on the live video now. This is a rare moment. As my stomach growls. I don't know if you can hear that. Need to eat.
No breakfast this morning.
Not yet, just coffee.
Yeah, same here. Yesterday, I didn't eat lunch till I didn't eat anything until like 2:40 in the afternoon. I'm trying to lose some weight though.
Right.
Yeah.
This is where it drives you crazy too, because as soon as I get in something, it just stalls. And it sits at the same price forever. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
When you want to move, it doesn't. When you get out, it moves. It's fantastic.
That's why I kind of like with the micro E-minis, just shorten them all.
Right.
It's like hey, some of them are going to perform better than others on the short side or the long side, and
don't want to
like my M2K is not doing anything, but the MES, MNQ, and MYM are all up.
Right.
So if you just picked one,
yeah, you don't know exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's playing with above here. I'm going to wait for it to make a nice move down. Come on. I've noticed too, when I do this, that it's a nice opportunity when it lines up with the bottom of the negative wrinkle cloud.
Yeah.
It's another good time where it will take a move down.
Yeah, it acts as resistance. Yeah. Especially when the cloud turns red like that. So you got some negative bearishness in there.
Get a nice move down to 29.96 and I chop that right out.
But the NQ is really leading the way.
Yeah, that's just it. Whenever you're short, any of them, it's like, yeah, everybody go together. Let's go.
Yeah.
Where are we at on that one anyways? Right on 3,000. That doesn't make sense. Oh, no, that's the other one.
Yeah, I'm on the full contracts. I've been looking for a short position. I have one MYM short, or not MYM, YM, that I've had now for good 2 weeks. Just hanging on to it because if we get one day in which the market's down like 1,000 points, I just want to make sure I participate in that.
Right.
And then the MYMs, I can just kind of day trade those, and back on the 15th. It's about a week ago then.
That's my other calendar.
Not the 15th. When was it? No, it's the 11th. So it's not quite a week. But yeah. I mean, on the longer term chart, do you have a really long-term chart there of the Dow? Let's take a look.
Oh my God. What's that?
And also, did you hear? I mean, you probably saw it because you were in the stream, but all these guys are getting invited to the Swell conference for Ripple in Singapore. Yeah, it's weird, They've never invited any YouTubers or anybody else in the community to Swell event.
I was gonna look. Do they always do them in Singapore?
No, last year it was in San Francisco.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
I don't know if they moved it around or if it was always international.
I think it was in Canada one year even, and then it was in San Francisco. They move it around every year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, look at that. And it's just, I mean, yeah, it's just odd, very, very odd, especially with that big drop back there back in February. Was that 2018?
Back here?
No, is that 2018? No, that's
Oh, wait.
2008.
Yeah, that's 0809 there.
It's way at the top there. We had that big drop on that expanding wedge.
Yep.
I mean, that was yeah, at the end of 2018. We had that 3,000 point drop in the Dow.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day or last week when we were talking about it. It's like, you know, how the market's so much higher than it should be. It's like I could easily see as this expands out,
Yeah,
tracing back to 20,000.
yeah. And the thing is that there's so much complacency in the market right now. I think that a lot of traders are thinking, hey, as long as the Fed continues to lower interest rates, that's great for us because we don't have to pay margin and we can get money pretty easily. The problem with that is that at some point, if we do hit a recession and they start going negative, you know, how much of a return are you going to get by putting all of your cash into stocks?
Right. Yeah, you're not. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm actively watching this too because I'm profit. I'm looking at when I'm taking profits on this ES now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, you take the profits when you got them, right? I tend to be a little bit longer term. I'll hold stuff overnight like I did last night. Actually, if I was up at 3:00, 3:30, 4:00 in the morning, and I saw everything was down, MYM was down 50 points. I said, you know, when you got profits, guys, you should take them. Just, if you're trading in and out, do it. But I tend to be a little bit longer term, like where we are right now on the Dow is like right up against that upper trend line. And I don't mind going negative for a couple of days. I only got out this morning because I saw the internals so strong. But I may just end up holding these for a while.
And they're coming down now too.
Yeah, they're starting to trail down.
Not
It's not going to get, huh?
Not a ton, but yeah, they're starting a little bit.
Yeah, it's not gonna get serious until it drops below that 70% level.
Right.
And then I'll say, yeah, okay. So we may not get a lot of action today, but we'll see. But on a long-term basis, look at that. We're right up against that upper trend line.
Mm-hmm.
And we've bumped up against it a few times. And it seems like every time we've done that, we've backed off a little bit, at least 1,000, couple thousand points.
Yeah, this is a monthly. Let me switch this to a weekly. Oh, there we go. Bad phone.
Sorry, guys. I need to take this call. I have an emergency. Hold on.
Yeah, so there's a look at on the weekly charts where we touched it. Nice big move down to 22,000 there. That was last year. And then there we touched it again. Big move down. Almost touched it, moved down. So, yeah, if we go up there and touch it again, as he says, sometimes you're early on the short side. And then if you can ride out a slight negative, then when it moves, and it moves. And there goes my ES is moving now. See if that bounces back down.
Some sort of spam call about my warranty on my car.
Oh, imagine that.
Darn. I have a plumber I called. I need to have a plumber.
Oh, there's a nice move.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just watching my move. I just got 250.
Hello?
Those profits. Did you turn your speaker off, Dave?
Oh, yeah, I turned my speaker off. Okay, there we go.
I just grabbed my quick $250 in profits on the ES there, so I'm happy.
Nice. Oh, yeah, we're
guys.
dropping.
Big move down. Don't chase it down. I sold up here above the cloud. It went slightly against me, but there's a nice move. That's not a day trade. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of, I think we mentioned this last week too. That's the power of the MT volatility when it's over 100%. You get surprises to the downside. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly. That's the other reason. That's all goes together. So it's not just one thing.
Right.
So don't, if we're in MT vols down at 85 and you see this above the cloud and you go short and it doesn't, it goes up. It says, well, Dan did that. It's everything put together, right? We're in this high volatility. We know we had a little fake funny news overnight there with Brexit. So this big move up isn't going to last. That's why I felt comfortable holding full contracts on ES short there. and just grab some quick profits. So that was $250 in like 10 minutes.
Yep, exactly. Perfect.
We go do something else, and we just let up the micros, ride it out. That's the other reason that I love the micros and the full contracts at the same time, where we're short the micros, and then you take a full contract and double dip.
Make some quick money. Yep.
Exactly. Now I can relax again.
Geez, you're doing a live stream and trading.
I know it. That's why I say I don't usually do this.
Multitasking.
So there you go. That'll be my highlight for the reel for the week on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I had we were having a half bath remodeled, and the guy came yesterday to take up the tiles. He took out the toilet and he turned off the water. But the problem is the water that didn't turn off for the half bath also goes to my washing machine, so I can't use my washing machine.
Oh, geez.
So I'm waiting for a plumber to call me back. He needs to come over and reroute the line so I can use my washing machine while they do the remodel in the bathroom. Emergencies, right?
If it's not one thing, it's another, right?
Oh, crazy.
All right. Yeah, those nicely moving down. All right. Well, we're getting close to a wrap on this one. Sorry for missing Tuesday, guys. I had to run out to school where little exchange program stuff going on. So we're looking forward to that. Next week, we'll have a German living here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ask him about the economy or her.
She's 14, so we'll see how much she knows. I think they're in negative rates, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes, they are. In fact, their entire yield curve is in negative rates now.
Oof.
All the way from the 3-month to the 30-year. All right, we're still moving down, guys. So, yeah, pay attention to the internals. It's very rare for the internals to really kind of completely reverse from that 80 level, and it looks like we're now down below 70 on the average.
Yep, just broke 69 there.
We'll keep an eye on it, but take profits if you guys are in the real-time update service. Take profits, when you got them. Maybe take off a contract here or there when you get those when you get some good profits on there to make up for last night. Otherwise, I'm going to hang in there probably for the rest of the day. We'll see, but I'll update you guys for sure. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Tuesday.
Sounds good. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Have a good one, and we will talk to you again very, very soon.
Have a good weekend.
Bye, Dan.
Later.